Hello and welcome back to the Dragon Den. I'm King of Dragons 5000 and today I have another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the Storm Collectibles exclusive edition Baki Hanma. Before we have a look at the figure, let's take a moment to thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Gundamit.com. Action figures, model kits, and other collectibles, check out Gundamit.com with the link in the description. Taking a look at this exclusive Baki Hanma, I'm gonna say it's a very well made figure. Taking what was already an awesome sculpt and just giving it all this impressive detail was a great call by Storm Collectibles. Baki does come with 4 very impressive head sculpts, as well as several sets of hands for various style posing. Baki comes with so much here. As we have a look at Baki's details, you can see that there's a lot of paintwork that went into this figure. The sculpted detail was already impressive on that original figure, and adding all this really nice paint makes it that much better. Taking a look at his head sculpt, you can see that Baki here has seen a lot of battles. His face is all bruised up and scratched, and you can see that one of his eyes is starting to close. The detailing on the bruising and the scrapes on his face look very good, and I love the way the blood is dripping out of his mouth. His hair is also unkempt and very wild and looks really good here in the brown plastic. Because he is using that original Baki body, you can see that he still has all those scars that were on the original figure. The shading in the musculature is very impressive and does a good job bringing out all his muscles. And very prevalent along his body, you can see a lot of blood stains and a lot of scrapes. The scrapes are done in this really nice black paint, and the blood splatter looks very impressive here. Baki also has these very muscular arms which look impressive with all the shading done on them. And just like with his torso, there's a lot of scraping here on his arms, and you can see the blood splatter is still very present. On his wrist, Baki is wearing some wrist tape which is done in white paint. Just like with the original Baki figure, his shorts are made from actual fabric. Done in this very impressive red fabric, Storm Collectibles has done a really good job with his shorts. His legs are quite muscular, and they carry over all that impressive shading and detailing with the scarring. And because this Baki has seen a lot of fighting, you can see that the scrape and blood splatter is still very present here on his legs. Despite having all these scrapes and blood splatters, I love the fact that the shading on his legs is still very present. And around his ankles we see he is wearing some wraps which also carry over that white paint. And then his feet are slightly large, which is pretty accurate to the animation that we see. The shading on his foot is still quite good, and just like with the rest of his body, those scrapes and blood splatter are here. The paint and details are quite impressive here on Baki, from the shading on his muscles all the way to the blood splatter and the scrapes going throughout his body. And I am happy that they did go with the fabric shorts, as that is a carryover from the original Baki figure. With his paint and details out of the way, let's compare Baki to our usual suspects. Getting Baki compared to other figures, you can see that because he is Storm Collectibles, he will be slightly taller than true 1/12 scale. But surprisingly enough, he'll fit in nicely with a lot of domestic toy lines. And if you have various Storm Collectible figures, he'll fit in great with those collections as well. Overall, some impressive scaling here from Storm Collectibles, making Baki fit into a lot of different toy lines. With the comparisons out of the way, let's move on to his articulation. Baki will have a double ball joint in the head going down to his neck. Ball sockets in his shoulders. His arms hinge out to the side and do a full 360. He has a bicep swivel and double hinges in his elbow. At his wrist, Baki is going to have a ball hinge. Baki does have a double ball joint in his upper torso and a ball joint in his lower torso. Baki's legs do kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have a thigh swivel. He does have a double hinge in the knee. Baki will have a ball hinge in the ankle, forward facing pin for rocker ankle, and a toe hinge. Overall, Baki has some great articulations, and because it is Storm Collectibles, his torso is going to be soft plastic, allowing for a lot more movement. And being a grappler, a lot of articulation here on Baki works perfectly, and you can get him in some great poses. With some great articulation, amazing paint apps, and fantastic details, Baki here looks impressive. And with all that out of the way, let's have a look at my final thoughts of Baki the Grappler. Coming straight out of the anime, Storm Collectibles has done a great job here with Baki Hanma. This has to be one of Storm Collectibles' best figures that they have ever made in terms of both paint applications, details, and sculpt work. The bruising on his face looks impressive, and it carries over nicely to all his faces. And one head sculpt that I have to say is probably the best is the head sculpt where he's spitting out all this blood. And the large selection of hands that Baki comes with gives them a lot of posability, so there's a lot of different options to pose your Baki. It's very hard for me to find something negative to say about this figure because Storm Collectibles has done a very good job here. The proportions on Baki look impressive, the accessories work for him, and just the amount of details on this body is stunning. Unfortunately, I did pass on that original Baki figure, and I regret that every moment I see this figure because this is a very well made figure. Quite possibly the major drawback to this figure is that he is an exclusive figure, and being an exclusive Storm figure, there are very limited quantities of this one particular figure. Lucky for me, Gundamit.com did have a stock of this event exclusive Baki, and when I saw him on the website, I knew I had to pick him up. Unfortunately, at the time I'm making this video, Baki is sold out on Gundamit.com, so you do have to go to sites like eBay to track down this event exclusive version. But if you were lucky enough to snag the original Baki or even this event exclusive version, you have a very amazing figure on your hands. Before we wrap up this video, let's take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Gundamit.com. Gundamit.com has a huge selection of action figures, model kits, and other collectibles. Be it first party or third party, Gundamit.com has a huge catalog that won't leave you disappointed. Show your support for the Dragon Den by using code DRAGON on Gundamit.com for all your purchases. Thank you for watching another video here on the Dragon Den, but before you go, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out the rest of my Storm Collectibles catalog. Show your support for the Dragon Den by checking out my Patreon for exclusive content and early access videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my loyal Dragonites coming from the Dragon Den, I'm KingofDragons 5000 reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.